Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Ask Andrew. It is Wednesday, May 14th, 2025. It's okay. I'm just buttoning the old suit jacket, you know. Don't want to give too much away this early in the morning. No, I'm kidding. Anything for views, right?
Yeah.
No. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Ask Andrew Live. I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
And I'm weather anchor Peter Warner.
And it is hump day already.
It's hump day. We were kind of talking about how we're kind of confused on what day it is. It's been one of those weeks where it just feels like the weather pattern's been stable, nothing really changing, too crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I don't know what it is.
they're blending together.
I've said 2 times today, I've said it's Tuesday, and then I've also said it's Thursday. So I'm stuck on the T's for some reason. I don't know why, but here we are.
Doesn't feel like a Wednesday, but it is a Wednesday.
Yeah, but it is indeed a Wednesday. Yes, halfway through the work week. And we're going to be seeing some significantly warmer temperatures coming in here.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
It's summer.
Kind of closer to what you would probably experience.
Yeah.
Definitely this month and probably last month, too, back home.
Exactly. Very Phoenix-like temperatures. And the good news is, not exactly Phoenix-like dew points and humidity, but pretty close when it comes compared to what it could be, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to stay fairly comfortable in terms of the humidity levels.
Yes.
So we're very thankful for that. We've got a lot to talk about today. There were 2 very big, deep dive topics for Ask Andrew this week. So we'll give some time to let those breathe. There was something really cool that wasn't necessarily in the sky yesterday, but it was on the ground.
I saw that.
Isn't that nuts?
It was crazy.
Yeah, in case you missed it, we had a few land spouts touch down, which is technically a tornado.
Technically.
It's just a different version of a tornado. So we're going to go over some of those pictures, some of the video, explain what the difference is between those two. And of course, we'll take all your questions.
Of course,
Always. Yeah, always want to leave time for those. If you're new, welcome. If you are wondering how to get us your question, the easiest way is to text it there to that number at the bottom of your screen. Now at the full screen, 309-304-0888. Brandy is awesome. She's reading my mind today. There it is.
She is.
She is. We're on the same brainwave this morning. It's 309-304-0888.
309. 304-0888. I feel like it's usually you twice, me, so I felt like I had to say it there.
Yeah. We always say 3 times commits it to memory, right?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. It's like that head-on commercial. Do you remember that back in the day? That little cream you're supposed to rub on your head to make the headache go away, and they said it like 16 times. Everyone was over that commercial really quickly, but you'll have to, I know. I have to remember I'm dealing with, coworkers that are significantly younger than I am.
It's like it's like BK, have it your way. That's
It is.
mine.
Everybody knows that jingle, right? Oh my gosh, yeah. I just have to remember that I'm old. I'm old now, so I have to put things into
stop
context.
it. He is not old. He is not old.
Older. We'll go older.
There we go.
But yeah, we'll get to today's question, and then we'll get to your questions as well. Hope it's been a good week. Should we start with the action yesterday?
Why not? Let's dive in.
Oh my gosh. This is, I've lived here all my life, but these are some of the most picturesque pictures of a land spout that I have ever seen in my lifetime, in my career. These were just gorgeous. And this was from Justin York. He sent us a whole bunch more, and I posted them on our social media channels. But this was in Toulon, which is down there in Stark County, south of Bureau County.
Yeah.
That was gorgeous yesterday. I mean, it looks intimidating, and it looks scary because, it is a tornado, but it's not a tornado that we're used to, say, covering on a severe weather day.
Yes, it's very different. And the formation is even a little bit different as well. But I got to say, that's like a pretty picture-perfect, shot.
Yeah.
Just to see it, it's like, for us, this is complete nerd out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And this is the kind you can nerd out on because these usually don't do any damage and they certainly don't kill anybody because we're talking winds usually of 40 to 50 miles an hour. Not much stronger than that.
No.
So unless it's a very weak shed or barn that's kind of on its last leg anyway and was probably going to fall down with just a brief gust of wind, these really don't do too much. But you're right, it's 2 different processes. But I just sit and I stare at this picture and I'm just like, man, I wish I was there to see that yesterday.
I know.
Beautiful.
It would've been cool.
Yeah, really cool sight to see. So yes, intimidating, but again, this is what Dave and Darren called this morning the decaf.
I was going to bring that up, the decaf tornado.
I like that analogy. These are the decaf of tornadoes because, again, they really don't produce any damage. So what makes them different other than, they have lighter wind speeds and they don't do damage? It's about their formation. So as you noticed in that picture, you only saw the funnel near the ground. You didn't see it make a complete connection to the above cloud. The reason for that is land spouts always start with rotation at the ground. It's got to be along some kind of a boundary. In this case, I think it was a boundary of rain-cooled air, like an outflow boundary, that this thing started spinning up on. Also notice it comes from a non-supercell thunderstorm. That's exactly what we had yesterday. There were no supercells on the radar yesterday.
No. Very blippy little mini pop-ups.
Yeah. And it was just the perfect condition for that. And some of you, by the way, may have another one of these this afternoon on the Illinois side, because we're going to get more showers and thunderstorms. But the difference between that and a tornado is, look at the tornado. We start with a rotating updraft. So the rotation starts in the clouds, not at the ground. And then that rotation has to reach down from the cloud to the ground. Not to mention that the tornado winds are much stronger, in most cases 100 plus miles an hour. Wow. So a much more violent type of tornado. But yeah, land spout, the gentle giant, the decaf of regular tornadoes, I guess you could call it.
So good. It's kind of similar to dust devils.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
The temperature gradients and cause just that little mini circulation on the surface, just on a much larger scale, it seems.
Yeah, and you can see a lot of those this time of year. I had someone ask me yesterday, why are we seeing so many dust devils in the fields? Well, the farmers have tilled up all that soil. It's dry.
Yep.
And if we get some sunshine, you get these little, I don't know what you would call them, like a streamer, a heat streamer.
Yeah.
The ground heats and, heat rises, and if it's strong enough, it can start rotating. And
yeah.
It's kind of complicated.
It is.
It's very physics heavy, and I try not to go too heavy because I don't want to put you to sleep. But just know that it is typical to see, dust devils this time of year.
Yes,
here.
it is.
Yeah. Not going to hurt anything. My goal is to still, get into one of them. It happens every time I'm driving, and I just don't have enough time to stop the car and get out and run into the field.
You want to run into one?
I want to go run into one.
Oh, yeah. I grew up, at the baseball field. Imagine a baseball field in Arizona. Yeah.
Did you get in one?
Oh, yeah. We would run through them.
So jealous. So what's it like? What's the experience of being in a dust devil?
A lot of dust. You're, as someone who grew up with some asthma, wasn't great. Probably not the smartest idea, but, I'm a little 8-year-old maniac.
So you probably need some goggles for your eyes.
You need your glasses, and you just kind of feel like a little burst of wind, but then it goes away. Once you get into it yourself, it almost kind of breaks it down.
Huh.
So, again, these were much smaller scale ones. These aren't like the big ones you see on videos. Like, oh, look at this dust devil. It's a very small little spin-up thing, but...
That is so cool.
You gotta get you out to Phoenix, because they happen practically every day.
Probably an everyday occurrence. Yeah, I need to do that because I definitely want to experience what that's like. So that was really cool. I want to thank Justin, and we had a whole bunch of other pictures and videos that got sent in yesterday. I believe our digital team has a post online at WQAD.com with more of those pictures and video if you want to see them.
Yes, James did a breakdown.
Yeah, check it out. It is incredible. Again, some of the most picturesque ones I have ever seen here in the Quad Cities region. Let's get a quick check of what's going to happen weather-wise, because yesterday was kind of a big day for us here in that ever since we rolled out weather impact alerts, it was the first time we've canceled one.
Yes.
Never happened before. So why did we do that, and what's the deal with that? So we're all about, we want to give you a heads up notice when severe weather is coming. We've had, I do read your comments on social media, and there's a number of people that have said, why don't you just wait until the day before? Or why don't you wait until a couple of days before when you're a little more confident in terms of what's going to happen? And the first thing I think about when I read those comments is how many times after a severe weather outbreak do we hear people say, I had no idea. It came without warning.
Yep, that happens.
No idea what was going on. You have to remember, people get busy. You may not have a very busy lifestyle. You may have a very sedentary lifestyle. Maybe you watch the news every day. Maybe you watch every newscast every day. And we appreciate you for that. But there are some folks who are just running.
Yeah.
Don't really have time to sit down and absorb a forecast every single day. The earlier and sooner we can get that alert out, if you will, the more people are going to be aware about this. So that's my little soapbox about those.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about those. I'm not, scolding anyone, but I'm trying to get you into the understanding of where we're coming from.
Yeah, our approach.
Why we're doing this. Yeah,
Yes.
our approach to that. So not everybody's life is the same. We have different lifestyles, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've thought about this before. Say we weren't working in weather, but doing a shift like this, it would be very difficult to keep up with something like that.
Yes, because it gets busy.
Yes.
We don't watch much TV, even though we work in TV.
Yes.
And I can personally vouch for that. I will say tomorrow's setup, it looks very similar to what we had a week or two ago. where the warm air, what we call that cap, is going to win out. So, we're confident enough in that scenario happening tomorrow that we've just gone ahead and we've pulled the impact alert day. Yeah, there's still that 1 out of 5 risk, but what's likely going to happen is the cap is going to hold, and you're going to see, really explosive storm development take place in southern Wisconsin, probably just west of Madison. Now, 1 or 2 of those storms may clip northeast Joe Davis County and also into Stevenson County, kind of near Freeport. But right now, we think the higher threat is certainly going to be up here in southern Wisconsin going into Milwaukee into tomorrow afternoon and evening. And as you see here, Future Track has nothing, nada, not even a drop of rain anywhere close to the Quad Cities or our hometowns tomorrow afternoon.
Yep. And you can see the boundary move pushing it through right there.
Yep. And there it goes. So tomorrow, we've taken out, I have taken out the rain chance because I don't think it's going to happen. I've just gone partly cloudy and windy. But look at this. We're going to break a record high most likely tomorrow. And that record was set, looks like almost nearly 100 years ago, just a little shy of that. 1941. 86 years, yeah.
Right? No.
Right?
96?
I'm terrible at math.
Wait, I'm trying to think.
2025 minus 1941.
It's got, no, I can't. Let's see. 84.
You were so close. 84 years.
I did 6, 1 minus 5. I guess 11 minus 5 in my head rather than
Yes.
5 minus 1.
It's hard when you're doing like an odd number year and then you're trying to, that's what fouls me up all the time. But yeah, I think we're going to break a record tomorrow. Math is hard. Yes, it is. Our math teachers are shaking their heads right now. It's okay. We love our math teachers. Let's talk about this too really quick, and then we'll get to the question we had today. Look at us quickly climbing the tally here. We've got 6 days worth of 80+ degree temperatures so far this month. We'll have another one today, which is 7, another one tomorrow, which is 8, and then we'll probably have a 9th one on Friday.
Probably.
Before this streak comes to a temporary end. So I can say for sure we are going to surpass 8. It is going to be more than average for your 80s that are going to be coming in. Let's talk winds really quick because our old friend the wind machine is going to come back tomorrow. We're going to have gusts potentially exceeding 40 miles an hour into the afternoon, especially the further north you go. If you go north of Interstate 80, you're talking 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. And we're going to see another round of wind on Friday, though not as strong. Those wind gusts will be between 20 and 30 miles an hour on Friday. After that, we still keep wind around Saturday. The wind machine will crank up again next week, Monday into Tuesday. And Tuesday is our next chance for rain, at least the next meaningful chance anyway. And we'll hope, fingers crossed, that remains the case here. Should we go over our question from this morning?
Yeah.
See what we got? So if you missed it this morning, we talked about something that was really relevant, especially considering what happened yesterday. John was wondering, do tornadoes always spin in the same direction?
Ooh.
And what determines the direction in which they rotate?
I like that.
Yeah. So doing some digging, this is, how all of this comes together. And then I'll get you the statistic that I found. So we know what wind shear is. We've talked about that. You've got winds aloft above the ground, and then you have wind here at the ground. Well, if they change in speed or direction, they will start to rotate. So that rotating air starts out horizontally. It's parallel to the ground. It lies flat like that cylinder. You get a thunderstorm to come along, a particularly strong one, and the strong updraft actually grabs that cylinder and it twists it. And it makes it vertical. So now you have twisting motion in the vertical here as that updraft has spinned it. And that's how you get your tornado to develop. Why does it spin counterclockwise? It's because of the Coriolis force. We've talked about that before.
Oh, yes.
The spin of the earth. That's why hurricanes rotate the same way as well. They will rotate in that same direction. Areas of low pressure rotate in the same direction. So everything typically moves clockwise. 98% of our tornadoes here in the Northern Hemisphere are clockwise. What about the other 2% though? You can get anticyclonic tornadoes.
Interesting.
That spin clockwise. Yeah. And why do those happen? Well, we need a lot more information. There's a lot of studies going on. We only have one hypothesis right now, or guesstimate. And we think it has something to do with a jet stream interaction. We think there's a certain level of jet stream or a certain intensity of jet stream that can actually overpower the Coriolis force and force a tornado to spin clockwise.
Interesting.
And that's something.
That is so neat.
So we're still learning about weather. And this is one of those weather concepts that we have more to study We still are trying to find out why it is. Again, it's only 2% of tornadoes. It's not a lot, but it's interesting that, something is powerful enough to counteract the influence of the rotation of the Earth.
Yeah.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts.
The other one we had on Monday, sorry, Peter.
I was just going to say, that's a crazy jet stream you got to have.
Oh, it is, yeah, to overpower that for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So more to come on that, more studies underway. This is the one we had on Monday, by the way. The question was, how much oxygen does a cornfield produce on, say, a July day? So what I did is I broke this down by the growing season. The average growing season for corn in Iowa and Illinois lasts about 130 days. So under ideal conditions, if you have full sunshine, it looks like almost 200 pounds of oxygen per acre per day. And that's enough oxygen for 130 people to survive on for a full year.
For a full year?
For just that 1 acre. Yeah.
Per day?
Per day. Yeah.
My goodness.
Isn't that nuts? So, and then he wondered, what about clouds? What about if it's a cloudy day? Well, it cuts it in half. But still, 96 pounds of oxygen with a cloudy day. Can you imagine how much carbon dioxide it's pulling out of the air?
Yeah.
I believe the stat that I found was something like 8 tons.
Are you serious?
Of carbon dioxide gets pulled out of the air.
Wow.
Yeah. So, corn, as much as we hate it because of corn sweat, it is really beneficial.
It's amazing.
In terms of, oxygenating the air, removing the carbon dioxide. It is really, really beneficial. So those were some great questions. And that's an example of what you, watching us this morning, have sent. That I've answered.
Yes.
And I couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you.
Oh, yeah, that was a fantastic question,
Yeah.
too. I remember we got that actually on Ask Andrew last week.
We did, yeah. Pulled it right out of there. And Peter actually had a really good, it wasn't an Ask Andrew question, but he had a really good summary regarding SPF and sunscreen.
Yes.
And we're going to cover that next Monday. That's going to be Monday's question. So if you're curious, what all those labels mean, what's the SPF 30 and the 50 and all that, he did a really nice explanation, and I'm going to go over that on Monday.
Yes. And UVB versus UVA.
Yeah, what is all that nonsense?
Interesting. Right?
You see that when you purchase sunglasses. It's like it prevents so much percent of the UVA rays and the UVB rays. It's like, what does all that mean?
So very interesting.
Yeah, you broke that down nicely. So I'm gonna borrow that.
Yeah, we can just.
And we're gonna use it on Monday.
Yes, the perks of helping out our friends in Des Moines.
That's right. You do a good job.
No,
you really do. We got time for your questions. We'll go ahead and we'll grab some and we'll get going.
Yeah. Have you heard of this guy? His name's Marcus.
Is it Marcus again?
His name's Marcus
I tell
from
you
Knoxville.
what, he's so dependable.
He's so dependable. That question came in before the show even started.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right?
He is on it this morning.
He's on the ball, as always.
I love it.
Oh, speaking of dust devils, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. What is the difference between a land spout and a dust devil?
So a land spout, I would say, is definitely a much larger scale feature. Like it's bigger. Dust devils are much, much, much smaller. I mean, the ones that I've seen in the fields, they probably span no bigger than a couple feet in width. That dust devil that we showed you in that picture, that looked pretty big. You're talking probably, what, maybe 100 feet, maybe a couple 100 feet in width here. I mean, just looking at it, and this is in the distance too, mind you. So that's a much wider phenomenon. So you're dealing with a stronger ground circulation here than you are with the dust devil. Dust devil, you're probably going to have 30-mile-an-hour winds, maybe 40, if that.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
They're and they last so quickly too. They're a matter of 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah, and they're very dependent on terrain too. Like you said, you could go stand in it, and that kind of interrupts that circulation. It can dissipate it. There's no standing in this thing and dissipating it because it's a much bigger scale type of phenomenon.
Yeah, those dust devils, the second they even touch a road, they're gone.
Yeah, or a building. I've seen one go into a barn and then that's it. It's gone.
Even some thicker grass surfaces, they go.
Yeah.
So
it's a fun game trying to chase them because you don't know when the thing's going to dissipate. It's like, that's why I don't have enough time to stop the car and go run, because before I know it, it runs into a building or it goes over a road and it's gone, and I'm like, darn it.
Missed another one.
It's like whack-a-mole. Good question.
We're going to get you to Phoenix and just put you on a grass field.
Yes.
Grass,
Let's do it.
quote unquote.
Turf is fine. I'm not picky.
Oh, it's more like dirt with little green things coming out of it. That's Arizona soccer fields. Oh, my goodness. A viewer was wondering, why do we keep getting missed by severe weather?
Why do we keep getting missed by severe? I think at this point it's just sheer luck.
It is.
It is just sheer luck. We're overdue for a big storm here in the Quad Cities. You know, the last big one we had was Easter when we had, I don't know if you'd really classify it as a tornado outbreak. I mean, I guess a local mini outbreak because we had, you know, what, a dozen plus tornadoes.
I think 14 was the
14
final
total. Yeah. So maybe a mini outbreak, a local outbreak, if you will, of tornadoes there. I know all of you didn't get them and they were weak, so we're due.
Yeah.
We have plenty of time to make that up. But it's something that, you know, we've noticed ever since the winter is that storm track to the south of us.
Just still
robbing all the energy, robbing all the moisture.
Yeah, it's still kind of stuck down there.
Mm-hmm. Eventually it has to work north. It cannot stay down there forever.
No.
It has to work north.
You would
at
think.
some point, yeah. And if it doesn't, well, I'm not going to pull all my hair out because I don't know why it's still there.
Hey, we don't per se want severe weather.
We don't. No, I definitely don't want it. My perspective on that changed when I became a homeowner. When you become a homeowner, you don't want anything. You don't want hail. You don't want wind. Every time I'm here covering severe weather, I'm looking at the radar. I'm freaking out, thinking, "Oh, please stay away from my house."
Please stay away. Yeah.
Yeah. Adulting.
Not there yet.
You'll get there.
I know. Fred in Muscatine was wondering how active has this tornado season been so far? For us,
it's. I feel like it's average here.
It's average.
Yeah.
And with that, if you take out that 14-day, which was all primarily what, EF zeros and ones, a couple ones, I think.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen too much of anything this year.
It's been pretty quiet here locally. It certainly has been no, 2024, no 2023.
Yes.
That's for sure. Those were blockbuster years for us here in the Quad Cities. So, we've been spared all of that, but, other parts of the country haven't. This is the updated count through May 13th.
Well above
so yesterday.
average.
Yeah, we're at, what are we at, 758 total tornadoes for the year. The mean is 586.
Oh, gosh, that's
So
almost...
we're well up there.
Yeah, that's almost 200 higher. Not going to try and do the math again.
We did surpass 2023.
Already?
Which had 747 tornadoes. This is across the United States we're talking about right now, but we haven't surpassed last year yet. That's probably going to change tomorrow
Yes.
and Friday especially, expecting big-time severe weather, not only just northeast of us, but Friday southeast of us.
Yeah, another major system. It's one of those huge SPC outlooks that we've been seeing kind of frequently this year.
We really have, yeah. And that's kind of how these things work, is you get these big bursts of tornadoes. If you look at the graph, which I can't show you because it's on my screen right now, but the way this graph works is you're going through time, obviously starting with the first of the year, but it's not like a smooth curve when it comes to measuring that tornado tally. It's like it just ticks up these big jumps. So I expect probably another big jump tomorrow and Friday, unfortunately.
Yes, sadly.
Busy year.
Yeah. It's been busy almost, I would feel like the last 5 years, most all of them have been very active trend, kind of settling in.
Yeah, seems that way.
So
I'd agree.
Margaret in Bettendorf was wondering, could the first Atlantic storm form before the hurricane season officially starts?
It is possible. I know that earlier this week we were monitoring what's called a gyre. It's a very broad area of low pressure, just kind of in Central America and that region there. And sometimes that broad low pressure system can spawn little mini low pressure systems within it. Right now, there's nothing expected to form in the next week. But there's still plenty of time because hurricane season doesn't kick off until we get to June 1st.
Yes.
So we still have a couple of weeks yet. And yeah, if something were to develop, I think it's probably more than likely going to be in that Central America area. We're not talking about, waves off of Africa quite yet. That takes a little bit longer.
Yeah, and also our tropical temperatures haven't warmed enough yet, closer in, say, the Gulf per se, compared to just right along the equator.
Yeah, we talked about that. Was it last week?
I think
on
last
Ask
week.
Andrew Live?
Yeah.
2 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than normal water temperatures in the Atlantic. I don't know about the Gulf, but I know the Atlantic is cooler than normal right now. Doesn't mean you're not going to get any storms, but it certainly doesn't hurt to have some cooler water to help slow them down or de-intensify them a little bit.
Yes. Yes. We'll see.
Yeah, time will
Still
tell.
17 days.
17 days.
Matthew, yes, it is going to be a cap situation for tomorrow.
Yes. And isn't it amazing, especially this year, how many more people know what a cap is?
I wonder why.
A lot more folks are using that terminology. Yeah.
Wonder why.
We won't take all the credit.
No.
But, you know, it's just another way that we can help message what's going to go on so you guys can understand what we're looking at, you know.
Yeah.
We don't hide anything.
No, we give it to you straight.
Exactly. We give you the insights into what we're looking at so you can better understand where we're coming from with these forecasts.
Especially on this show. This is where we really break it down.
Yeah, this is where we really do those deep dives, and we know you guys appreciate them very much.
Yes.
And we're happy to do them.
Jack and Moline was wondering, how can you tell a land spout apart from a regular tornado just by looking at it?
So all you have to do, great question, all you need to do, let's go back to our picture, our awesome picture from Justin here. All you need to do is look at the base of the tornado. And yeah, again, a land spout is a tornado. Notice as we go higher up in this picture, it disappears. There's no direct connection to the cloud. And also, if you were to look up in that general direction where that rope is kind of forming, you wouldn't see a feature like a wall cloud. You would see just a plain old dark cloud like they're usually contained in a thunderstorm. So that's the first indication in terms of what you're dealing with here. And also, too, notice how bent this thing is.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not dealing with, excuse me, some strong wind shear. This is very weak wind shear, so weak that it's struggling to even reach up into the atmosphere. Gravity is taking over and bending it back down.
That's Coriolis in a picture.
That is, yes. Again, I want to, so I'm like, Justin, can you send me the raw image of this? Because I want to put this on my wall.
I was going to say, you want to frame it, don't you?
It's so pretty, yes. It's gorgeous. And again, yeah, it is a tornado. It's just a land spout tornado.
The rule of thirds, too. My goodness.
Isn't that cool?
So good. So good.
Justin gets an award.
He does. He gets a gold star. Oh, my goodness. Billy from Clinton. Hello, Billy.
Hey, Billy.
How many tornadoes does there have to be before the event is considered an outbreak?
Okay, we can get the official definition. I think it's going to come from the SPC.
I would assume the SPC.
Yes, they have these set criteria and all this. It's like a derecho. It's got its own criteria that comes through. So I'm going to try and find that here for you. Aha, there it is. Why is that downloading something? Don't you dare download. Oh, now it wants to give me this really big research paper.
I think I saw 10.
Did you see 10?
On the summary of it.
10 or more, yes,
Yes.
you're right. From a single organized weather system.
So
Boom.
technically, would that mean we saw an outbreak?
That was an outbreak, so Easter would be considered
Yes.
a tornado outbreak.
There you go.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
The more
Tornado
you know.
outbreak on Easter. It's official. That's
official.
That's according to NOAA. That is straight from the NOAA website.
That's from the source.
Yeah, that's not AI. That's not, Google being Google. That is straight from the source. So there it is. 10 tornadoes to be an outbreak.
Interesting.
It makes sense.
Makes sense.
10's
That's
quite a few.
It's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
Double digits. Makes sense.
Yeah. Good question.
It is. That's
Very
all.
good question.
And that's all we have for right now.
Dang, and we're on time.
Right on time.
Again.
Pretty much right near the end.
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody that's joining us this morning. Thanks for your amazing questions. If there's something you think of after you hop off the stream, or maybe you're watching this on replay and we're not live at the moment, just go ahead and go to our website, WQ80.com, hit the weather tab, hit Ask Andrew. There's a form you can fill out to submit your question, and we'll likely cover it, whether it's here on the live show or Monday and Wednesday on GMQC.
Yes.
Always have time
Always
to get that done. So there's your homework. Think of a question, get it submitted, or just come back next week and we'll do it again.
We do love them all.
Yeah, we do. We enjoy them. And even we learn something
That's
in the
true.
process.
Many times.
Because we're not know-it-alls.
As much as we think we are.
As much as we think we are, we're not. Trust me. All right, we'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Have a great rest of your day, Quad Cities.